Yeah, you read the title. This live action movie is going to ruin Disney. You've seen the news, I've seen the news. We're talking about the live action Snow White. It comes out this March and a lot of people are not excited for this film since there's been a lot of controversy with the actress that plays Snow White, as well as not many people are loving the fact that Gal Gadot is the old lady, the evil queen herself. A lot of fans just didn't like the idea of a Snow White live action remake, and you know what? Disney decided to say, let's give the people what they want. Let's make a Snow White live action. Hey, but you know what? Snow White did break a record, not bad record, but they broke a record for the most hated trailer in history with over 1 million dislikes and over 100,000 likes off an 11 million viewed video. And even before the trailer came out, there was a lot of backlash with the characters, the set photos. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about the classic Snow White tale that released December 21st, 1937, called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Instant hit. You know the movie, I know the movie. Isn't really anything to explain, but if not, I'll just say it again. So the evil queen is jealous of Snow White's beauty. The wicked queen orders the murder of her innocent stepdaughter, but later discovers that Snow White is still alive and hiding in a cottage with the 7 friendly little miners, aka the 7 dwarves. Then all of a sudden the evil queen has said, hey, you know what, I could turn into an evil little lady. So that's what she does, and then she brings a poison apple to Snow White, who falls into like a deep sleep, and it can only be broken by an act of true love's kiss. This movie came out 88 years ago, and they decided to say, you know what, let's bring a little bit deja vu nostalgia. Let's bring what the people want, and let's give them Snow White. And let's not call it Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, we'll just call it Snow White to be original. Honestly, I thought this movie was canceled until they released it in D23, the trailer, about like 5 months ago. Turns out I was wrong, and a lot of people thought that as well. With everything going on with this trailer, it just doesn't look undone. I have no high hopes for this one. Get it? I'll stop for now. But the fact is that this is Walt Disney's passion project. This is literally his it's his baby. Besides Mickey Mouse, of course, but still, this is his first project, and we're just decided to get a slap in the face because of it. Considering the fact that Walt Disney Animation Studios is literally an animation company, and they decided to pull up with these live action films, which we gotten a lot recently in the past 5 years or so. It just sucks, and especially who plays Snow White, Rachel Zegler. Remember, this film was supposed to be announced a long time ago, 2 years ago or so, and they were on an interview in D23 2 years ago, and she said this about Snow White. Roll the clip, future Blockbuster editor.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
Not gonna be saved by the prince.
Okay, 2 things. One, that was 2 years ago, so of course they probably changed around the story because of that controversy and all that. But let's just say they didn't change it. Really? It's not 1937? Okay, cool, I get that. But also, you can't change the whole storyline of Snow White. Now it's just random girl with other people and not saved by the prince. I know there's a prince in the trailer, but also, is the prince like a stand-in character? Like he's there just for laughs or something? Is he just there just to be there? She can't even be qualified as a princess because she doesn't marry the prince. So I don't know if Disney did some type of rebranding, remarketing for this whole Snow White live action. I'm not even trying to sound messed up. It looks like the Snow White live action dress looks like you got it straight out of Party City, and now Party City's closing down for good. So you know what, I just don't really understand why they're doing a live action remake only to have 90% of what winds up ending to be CGI. When you look at other studios with budgets such as Universal, they literally do it in real life. For example, the Wicked movie. It's great. It's based off the musical that's based off the book and putting it into a movie budget. Keep in mind, Wicked only had $150 million budget. Compared to Snow White, it also got $100 million. But then you look at all the real life aspects in Wicked, and then you see the real life aspects in the trailer for Snow White. A lot of stuff is CGI, which really sucks when you see other things like the dwarves, for example, and they don't really look that good in my opinion. They look like the bobbleheads off Night at the Museum. This is no hate, no shade to Disney. I love Disney. I just want the Disney magic to go on, and it looks like it's not really having that Disney magic with this new movie. First off, we've never seen Snow White in theaters. I understand that, and Disney wants to come back and reignite the flame. I understand that, I respect it, but also there's other ways that you could do it. They're like burning it at this point. Of course, this is for the next generation of people that never grew up with Snow White and want to know who she is as a princess. But I don't think having CGI characters and all this is just not the way to go. I don't know what's going on with Disney, and I just feel like kids deserve better than this. Of course, most things are 3D animation, but I miss the 2D animation. That's what got me in love with animated movies. Disney has changed up the game for years, and honestly, the live action era is not going anywhere anytime soon. I guarantee you that. We're literally gonna have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo in live action. How would you like to see that? I hope that's not actually happening. I love the original Hunchback of Notre Dame, but you know what, please don't do that, Disney, I'm begging you. But the next topic about this movie is also very sensitive to a lot of people, especially the people who play the dwarves slash little people. Actually wasn't gonna be the little people, aka the dwarves. Set photos leaked a long time ago showing that the miners weren't gonna be little people and we're gonna be named something else completely different in order to avoid controversy. And Disney stated this: to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, we are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community, a Disney spokesperson said when Peter Dinklage's comments went viral. We look forward to sharing more as the film heads into production after a lengthy development period. Of course, as you've seen in the set photo, they range from different sizes and races. It just looks a little bit too woke for 2025 now. I understand they were trying to go a different approach, but it did not work for the audience. Because if you've seen the original Snow White, you know that Snow White never classified the dwarves as dwarves. It was actually the evil queen who notified them as dwarves. Peter Dinklage, who has dwarfism, stated this: literally no offense to anything, but I was sort of taken aback, he said. They were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarves. Take a step back and look at what you're doing here. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're making that still effing backwards story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together. Have I done nothing to advance the cause of my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough. And look, Peter Dinklage has dwarfism, and he's made it loud and clear that, and people that have dwarfism that is trying to be an actor or an actress doesn't really get the big shot like he did. They get put in the back end, sadly, and it sucks to see that people that have dwarfism don't really get the big screen like that. And these are CGI dwarves, meaning that they had to computer generate these images to make it look like the dwarves are actually there. And Peter Dinklage basically is saying that they should have hired people with dwarfism to play actual dwarves, having the opportunity to be in a big blockbuster film that could take off their career. And I agree with them 100%. Disney taking the safer route and having CGI dwarves and not giving little people the job, and this will be exposure to opportunities later down the road for them. This is also a big issue when the movie Wonka came out, when Hugh Grant played a Oompa Loompa. It just sucks to see that type of exposure in this area, and hopefully other companies see this problem and we can finally solve it. All in all, I know that the Snow White movie is going to cause major controversy with those live action films, and I feel like once the movie comes out on March 21st, a lot of people are going to be talking about how bad it is. Maybe Disney got something up their sleeve and actually is going to be a good movie and we're just hating on it too much. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the original Snow White. Hopefully the Snow White keeps their legacy and not have anything ruined by it, and I'm talking about that live action movie. I'm still going to see this live action movie just to see if it holds par up with the original. There's going to be a lot more live action movie that's going to come later this year and also further on with Disney. I think that's about it about talking about the live action Snow White. Let me know in the comments below, are you excited to see this live action? Is this live action movie gonna flop? I guess we have to see March 21st, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get 5,000 in the month of February, maybe, who knows. But to wrap it up, I'm BlockBusterGuy. I hope you have a good one and take care.